All right, let's talk about something that can seriously turn your digital life upside down in a heartbeat: ransomware. We're going to break down what it is, exactly how it works, and, most importantly, how you can build a rock-solid defense against it.
Seriously, just take a second and think about this. What if one day you woke up and couldn't get to your photos, your work documents, your music, everything? The files are still right there on your computer, but you are completely locked out. This isn't some Hollywood movie plot. It's the very real, very scary threat of a ransomware attack.
So what are we actually dealing with here? Well, the easiest way to think about it is this. Ransomware is basically a digital kidnapper. It's malicious software that sneaks onto your computer, grabs your data, locks it in a digital vault, and then demands you pay up to get the key.
So how does this digital kidnapper even get past your defenses? You know, the process is actually pretty straightforward, and it all kicks off with some kind of deceptive bait.
It usually begins with something that looks totally innocent. That's the bait. You get an email, maybe it looks like a receipt or a shipping notice, and you click on the attachment. Bam! That's the trap. Without you even knowing it, the ransomware installs itself. And before you can react, it's lockdown time. All your important files get scrambled with a powerful secret code. And then you see it, the demand. A big scary message pops up right on your screen.
And that demand usually looks a little something like this. It's direct, it's intimidating, and it's built to make you panic. They almost always ask for cryptocurrency because it's much, much harder to trace. But you know what the scariest part is? Even if you pay, there is absolutely no guarantee you'll ever see your files again.
But here's the thing. Not all ransomware attacks are created equal. If you're going to build a good defense, you've got to know the other team's playbook. So let's take a look at the main strategies these attackers use to get what they're after.
Okay, so the two most common types attack you in slightly different ways. You've got crypto ransomware, which is that digital kidnapper we talked about. It goes after your individual files, like your photos and documents. But then there's locker ransomware, which is way more of a brute force approach. It just locks your entire computer. You can't even get to the login screen.
And then there's this tactic. This is what's known as scareware. Honestly, it's less of a kidnapping and more of a straight-up con. You get these terrifying pop-ups screaming that you have a virus, and they demand you pay them to fix a problem that, well, it doesn't even exist. It's all about preying on fear to get you to hand over your money without thinking.
And of course, the threats are always evolving. Doxware completely changes the game. Instead of just locking your data, it threatens to leak it, to publish it online for everyone to see. And ransomware as a service, or RAS, is a huge, huge development. It basically turns cybercrime into a subscription service, letting even amateur criminals rent these powerful tools and launch their own attacks.
To really get a sense of the sheer scale of this problem, let's just look at one of the most infamous attacks in history, WannaCry. This wasn't some small-time operation. This was a massive, global cyber attack that really showed the world how devastating ransomware can be.
The scale of WannaCry was just staggering. In a very short time, it infected over 200,000 computers.
And those computers were in more than 150 different countries. This wasn't just malware. This was a global crisis. It brought critical systems from hospitals to huge corporations to a grinding halt.
Okay, we've seen the threat, we've looked at the tactics, we've seen the damage. So now, let's get to the most important part. How do you actually fight back? Well, building your defense really comes down to three crucial, simple things.
I want you to think of your defense as a three-part shield. First, be skeptical. This is your front line. Treat every single unexpected link or attachment like it's suspicious. If you don't know what it is, don't click it. Simple as that. Second, stay updated. Attackers love to exploit old security flaws in software. So keeping your computer and your antivirus updated patches those holes before they can be used against you. And third, and this one is the absolute most important, always back up. A regular backup is your ultimate safety net. Because think about it, if an attacker locks your files, but you have a recent copy saved somewhere else, well, they've got nothing on you. They lose all their power.
When you boil it all down, it really comes back to this simple fact. It's not some super complex, abstract idea. It's digital extortion, plain and simple. The whole point is to lock up your stuff or threaten to leak it for one reason and one reason only, to force you to pay.
So we'll end right where we began. The attackers have put a price on your data. The real question is, what's its protection worth to you? By building that shield, by being skeptical, staying updated, and always having a backup, you can make sure their price is one you never, ever have to pay. Thanks for joining me.